Hello, science fans, and welcome to SHE-ensya. Do you ever wonder what it's like to be in the wonderful world of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics? Let us hear from our SHE-roes, experts, students, and aspiring STEM advocates about what it's like to be passionate about science and technology. Join us in today's episode as we discuss what it's like to be a 21st century Filipina farmer. The Philippines' 2020 population is estimated to be more than 109 million people, and this is expected to grow up to 15 million in less than 10 years. This population growth puts in significant stress and pressure on our food production mechanisms, especially our farmers. But in Philippine media, farmers are depicted as happy heroes rising with the sun and doing work in the idyllic background of nature. But behind this cleaned-up facade, it is actually quite a tragedy that an average Filipino farmer earns only 100,000 pesos a year, which is less than 8,000 pesos a month, significantly below the poverty line. Part of the reason behind this is that farmers have to contend with rain and floods, which have become stronger and more erratic due to climate change. On the other end of the spectrum, they also have to worry about the drought brought about by the dry seasons. Farmers also have to contend with loans they can barely pay back because of the seasonal trials that we've mentioned before, and also because of the low market prices of their produce. And then there's the issue of owning farmlands. The government's Agrarian Reform Program, known as CARP, which was enacted in 1988 and was initially set up for 10 years, with an aim to distribute about 7.8 million hectares of land. But our farmers report that officials accepted thousands of fraudulent claims, and that about 44% of distributed land was publicly owned, requiring our farmers to pay an amortization fee, which is quite excessive. And when fighting for their rights, farmers and their allies are labeled as communists and face violence and death over their hopes to get support, funding, or even just food. In fact, some of the bloodiest massacres in Philippine history was of farmers fighting for their rights. The Piyang Malaya Massacre, or the Bloody Sunday Massacre, resulted to 33 farmers dead when bolo-wielding members of Piyang Malaya marched to Malacanang on May 1967 and conducted a rally, but were massacred as confronted by the police armed with rifles. We have the Mendiola Massacre on January 1987, when 13 farmers were killed when government forces opened fire on 20,000 farmers while on their way to Malacanang. And then there's the Hachenda Lubicita Massacre in November 2004, where 7 farmers were confirmed to have died after combined government troops attempted to disperse more than 6,000 protesting farmers. There was also the Kidapawan Massacre in 2016, when 500 farmers blockaded the National Food Authority office in Kidapawan, asking for aid during one of the longest droughts in the country. The protest ended violently with 3 farmers dead and 115 injured after the police dispersed them violently with gunfire. There's also the Sagay or Hachenda Massacre that happened in October 2018, and was committed by armed men, killing 9 sugarcane farmers. 3 of the bodies were even set on fire. There's more violence beyond these reports, which shows the general attitude of our government regardless of who the president is or was to the people who grow our own food. And to date, we have politicians criticizing the efforts of more than 33% of the Philippine labor force as non-competitive, despite 3 decades of them calling out to us, asking for help so that they can be more productive. And that's just some of the reasons why we are left with an aging population of farmers, as farming is considered to be a hard life, and thus children dream of other careers instead. But farming can be and should be profitable. Currently, we have reports of successful farming ventures in Antique and other regions that have taken advantage of the Department of Agriculture and Land Bank's Agricultural Competitiveness Enhancement Fund that allows farmers to buy or purchase needed technologies to help improve their production. We have efforts from DOST's Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources Research and Development to introduce smart agriculture for coffee, cacao, coconut, and other agricultural products. This same department has also been busy within the past couple of months as they roll out innovative and low-cost pest control technologies for pineapples and citrus plants. But beyond the need to speed up the dissemination of these technologies, we can also help inspire the next generation by showcasing best practices of our 21st century farmers. So for today, we will be shining a spotlight on SHE-roes who have gone into the field of farming.
Hello science fans! I am RJ, Pescador Mallari. I'm biologist and coastal resource manager and an urban planner.
Hello science fans, I'm Che and I'm the owner of Yolanda's Garden Farm.
Considering the reputed difficulties of Philippine agriculture, I wonder what could have led our SHE-roes to go into farming.
Yolanda's Garden Farm is a family-owned farm here in San Pablo City, Laguna. Actually, I'm not really a farmer. So by profession, I'm industrial engineering graduate. So I bought the farm for my mother actually, and it's named after her because she's the one who really loves planting. We don't really do commercial selling. We do have agricultural products like dragon fruit, avocado, rambutan, lanzones, guyabano, langka.
During the past years, I needed to change the way I eat. That's why it became my dream to have my own garden where I can grow my own food. My dream urban garden came true because of the new rooftop that we had in our house. Even before the construction of this rooftop, I envisioned it a sustainable garden for our family.
Global warming, overpopulation, and the socioeconomic climate of the Philippines require novel solutions. This may involve marrying sustainable alternatives from the natural world with modern technologies. I wonder what innovative practices our 21st century farmers have.
21st century farming should not be the traditional one where you need to have large space, you need to have hectares of land. You need to rethink how you can grow your own food. I usually use the urban space that I have here. I tried to use recycled material. Together with my husband and 2 kids, we started with the tin cans and plant string beans, okra, and petchay.
I do appreciate, especially since we're not using any fertilizer in our property, in our farm. So, lahat ng inaani namin, so they're organic. And so we have some vegetables like okra, sitaw, ampalaya, kangkong. So, yun, libre na. Then mga fruits namin, so we can eat. So, like dragon fruits, how much does a dragon fruit in a supermarket, diba? And we're just picking it up in our farm. How fun is that?
As we need more women and young individuals in the field of agriculture in the Philippines, we asked our SHE-roes about the most difficult aspects of being and becoming a 21st century farmer.
So basically, we don't do commercially because wala kaming tao. So I think it's one of the challenges in having a farm. You have to find someone that you can trust. Kasi in farming, kapag gusto ng tao yung ginagawa niya, like if he likes planting, if he's willing to do the planting, so maganda rin yung bunga. But if you find someone na babayaran mo lang and then plant for you, you're not really sure if it will be fruitful for your land.
I think the challenge for me as an urban farmer and a 21st century farmer is that not all the needed materials are there. So good thing that Department of Agriculture had this program where it's a photo contest and the prizes were seeds and gardening materials. And I tried to try my luck and send my entry. Luckily, I had a consolation prize and I got some seeds from VA and gardening materials delivered to my doorstep.
The challenges faced by our SHE-roes are no simple matter that can be simply shrugged off. I wonder what could be the most fulfilling aspect of reinventing Philippine agriculture that makes it worth it for our SHE-roes.
The most fulfilling part of doing this is when you harvest. The taste of that is really different from the ones that you bought from the market. Another thing is you're not just sowing seeds, but you're actually being connected with nature and you're able to relax.
The nice thing about farming, I guess, is you plant and then you reap what you planted. So, like when it comes to this pandemic, so all our vegetables, so free na siya, especially when we were locked down. So natuwa akong I learned na magtabas ng damo. So I love reading. It makes me feel relaxed.
In 2015, the United Nations crafted 17 sustainable goals that serve as a blueprint for us to achieve a more sustainable future. Agriculture is at the heart of the SDG for hunger, poverty, water, achieving equality, and sustainable practices, and so much more. We need more eyes, hearts, and minds in the field of agriculture in order for us to achieve these goals. So let's hear one more time from our SHE-roes about their message to young individuals that we want to join us on the field.
So, although it's quite challenging, mahirap, if you're enjoying in what you do, so I do encourage everyone to go into the farming or explore the farming side. Especially right now, especially if you want to go commercial, I think it's much easier. Kasi before, medyo ano pa yung mga daan, the same time, you don't know who will buy your products. Ngayon, you can post it in your social media as much as possible. Go into the farming, especially if you love plants, if you want simple life, but it's simple but fulfilling at the same time.
If you are actually envisioning yourself to be a scientist, please consider agriculture as a science that will feed the world. Being a farmer is a very noble profession. It's not just, I think, I consider farmer not as backliner, but frontliners. They are the base of the pyramid. They are the base of the society.
Thank you so much to our SHE-roes for sharing with us your time and experiences and for helping us empower young women in the field of STEM. It truly is amazing to get a glimpse of what it's like to be a 21st century Filipino farmer. To our viewers, I hope you were able to learn something from our short video today. And if you did, I hope you can give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to message me, your resident Filipina scientist, in the comments section below. Thank you very much and see you around!